Welcome, Internet, to the PixelPlay Podcast, your gaming podcast hosted by gamers for gamers. I am one of your co-hosts, Kaylan, aka Catastrophe, joined as always by my co-hosts, Adam at CS Radical and Chris at Jin and Chris. This week we're going to be talking about the Xbox conference that is happening next week and our thoughts. And we're going to put on our Phil Spencer shirts here, have our wardrobe changes, and we are going to design our own Xbox conference. If you like that and you want to hear more, you can always find our podcast wherever you get your podcast by searching for PixelPlay Podcast. Or if you want to see our lovely faces while we do it, you can also find us on YouTube or Spotify for the video content. Gentlemen, how are we doing this week?
Fantastic. How are you, Kaylan?
I'm good. I am been playing Horizon Burning Shores. I think I'm wrapping that up and just burning through Advance Wars. I saw that Trek to Yumi is going to be PlayStation Plus Game of the Month, and I'm kind of excited to try that one. I kind of still want some samurai goodness after Ghost of Tsushima. What about you, Adam? How are you doing?
I mean, I'd love to try those games out, but I'm currently suspended on PlayStation because I'm pretty sure somebody got into my account and decided to stream something not great on my my Live from PlayStation's part on the PS4, because apparently, according to the email I got, I did something on Live from PlayStation that was criticized for hate speech. And I'd love to know what that is, but I can't get a hold of support. And it's fun because I don't stream on my PlayStation, so...
Fantastic.
So I can't even say I've been playing Trails of Cold Steel, because turns out when you get suspended for 7 days, you can't access any of your digital content like the games you bought.
This is why I advocate for physical games.
Or, hey, here's an idea. Sony, I don't care if I'm suspended for stuff. You don't get to just take away the stuff that I fucking paid for. Just let me play it offline.
I think they do. I haven't read the terms of service, and I know you haven't either, but I'm sure they do.
Well, fuck them anyway.
You know what it could be? I think I know who reported you. Square Enix has found the podcast.
Well, you know, we said bad things about PlayStation last week, so I get the feeling that's probably part of it too. So you know what? I'll change this. Sony, go fuck yourself. And I'm done.
I'm sure that's definitely going to help with your case there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Guys, how you doing?
Much better than Adam gaming wise. I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom still. I'm just like obsessed and like stuck in that. I don't have anything really new to say about it, except there's one mechanic that's in this game that I want open world games to start doing, or at least some of them, because holy crap, it's amazing. Where multiple quests end up at the same place and you don't have to do all of them. Oh. So perfect example, Tears of the Kingdom, you have to get the Master Sword. Big spoiler there.
Spoilers.
At some point, Link has to go get the Master Sword because it's just a retelling of the same game over and over and over. There is multiple quests that lead to that. And I didn't even realize that I was doing like 2 or 3 different quests, and I could have only been doing one of them. And it was just, I found them by accident because that's how the game works, and it just naturally gives you this stuff that you'll probably want to check out and go and do this and go and do that. And they all end up like at the same spot. So you don't have to only find this one specific quest. You'll basically, if you play this game, you'll probably find the sword just naturally. It's just when you talk to your friends, they may have actually got a different quest that they were following. They're like, what do you mean that's how you got that? I did it this way. But it all ends up at the same place. And I was like, when I found that out, I was like, what the heck? That is amazing. Because it was, instead of having to like look up a guide, like how the heck do I get the frickin' sword or whatever, I was already on a path of like 3 different ways that led to it. And it was only as I was going through the quest lines, I was like, this one's kind of talking almost about the same idea here. And it's kind of working on both of them. I'm like, oh my God, there's multiple quests that can lead you to the same spot. So when that happened, I was like, open world games, at least some of them, need to do this because it would actually make them a little more interesting and a lot less collecty, because that way you don't have to do everything. And you kind of just end up places naturally instead of the other ways that usually the games are doing.
So that's really smart. I like that. Honestly, every time you talk more and more about Legend of Zelda, it makes me want to buy it more and more. And I know I'm gonna cave at some point. I just don't know when.
Nope.
So I'm probably gonna borrow it at some point.
Yeah, if you can borrow it or something, give it a try, because I may be selling it, but again, you guys didn't really like Breath of the Wild, and it is way better in my opinion than Breath of the Wild. But it's not like it is a completely different genre of game. So there is definitely a chance that if you don't like Breath of the Wild, you may not like this one. But I feel it is extremely improved, and all of that emptiness from Breath of the Wild has been filled in. Oh my god.
Yeah, awesome. Gentlemen, we're coming up to a slew of conferences, and I think the biggest one is the Xbox conference, which I believe is happening on June 11th. So
Whoa,
we
whoa, whoa,
are.
whoa. You think that's going to be a bigger one than Wholesome Direct? Come on, Kaylan.
It's a hot take, I know, but I think this is their year. So what I want to do is I want to play Phil Spencer for a day, live his life. I've got the toys on the shelf.
How many shirts did you bring?
You will have to find out. But there's some Easter eggs on that shelf. But I was thinking what we could do is we can go through. I've got a list of all the Xbox studios. We can quickly go through what they're working on their last game. Kind of make a list of what games we think will show up on the show, and build it out how we would build this show. So Adam, can I ask you a favor? Could you open up like a Word document or something like that? And we can kind of go through this. Are you able to do that?
Joke's on you. I have a Word document with a good list of games already. So
That's a professional right there. So what I figured we could do is we'll go through the Xbox studios, what they're working on, if we think they're going to be there, what they're going to show, and then any sort of extra third-party stuff that we think might show up. And then let's build out a roster and see how close we can get as a podcast. Sound good?
yep.
Sounds great. Except
right.
the part where you said we're gonna have Easter eggs on our shelves, because I have like a Sonic poster and Sonic stuff, and I'm wearing a Sonic the Hedgehog shirt, and then everyone's just gonna say Xbox is buying Sega, and I've created a huge issue. So
Chris, you'll be surprised how relevant that is to your chat. Don't worry. So let's go through the studios. The first one is 343, obviously well known for Halo Infinite. That released back in 2021. So we are almost getting to 2 years since release. Rumor is that they might be working on a battle royale under the codename Tatanka. Do you think that we're going to see 343? And if so, what are they bringing to the table?
If we're going to see 343 at all, it's just going to be updates on Halo Infinite. I don't think we're seeing much else.
I was going to say the same thing. I have a feeling they'll amount some new battle pass, some new expansion to it. Maybe even a paid expansion. I don't know. Probably not, but I feel like it would be something like that.
Do you think the battle royale they're codenamed working on will be tied to Halo?
Oh, it could be. Actually, I could see that. I could definitely see that, because that would, use the IP, use the IP to actually get, kind of more hype for another battle royale, because they know that, like, if they're going in with just a brand new IP, like, it may be sunk right before it even starts, just because there's already so many of them out there.
Well, they got to compete with all like 15 of Sony's like games and services, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to be completely honest, unless the entire theme of this year is going to be really bad decisions with your clients, I think personally they better stay as far fucking away from that idea with Halo as it is, because people are already pretty unhappy with 343 as it is. Please don't poke the bear, Microsoft. You've already done enough with Redfall. Don't piss off. Like, people already are like a little bit concerned with 343. Don't make it worse.
Fair enough. Okay, so we're saying that 343, are we putting that as a yes, a no?
They'll
or
be
maybe?
there. It'll just be updates to like the next season for Infinite. It'll be just be as something
Okay.
quick about like their next like content drop.
Okay, so let's put that on the list there. Next one is Compulsion Games. Last big thing, or what they're known for, is We Happy Few. And they moved on to a new product. Do you think we see 343? Do you think we see We Happy Few there?
I think that's a solid maybe. I mean, it's been 5 years. You figure there's got to be something to show for it by then. Whatever that is, we don't know, but
yeah, I feel like it'll be. Yeah, I feel like we'll see something. Obviously, smaller scale type game, because that's kind of what they do, and I could see them announcing kind of a new.
It'll definitely be like a somewhere in the middle of the show thing where it's not a big deal, because let's be honest, like that studio has nothing behind it that have made people go like, ooh. Like, Contrast was okay, like it did decently. We Happy Few had amazing trailer at start, but then the game ended up being an absolute waste of time, so that didn't go over well. So I don't think the name right now of the studio means anything, so unless the trailer just blows people away, and that includes with gameplay, if it's just a cinematic trailer, we're going to have the same situation as we did with, was it Contour? What was the one that Firewalk or Firespread or whatever was working on, the Sony one?
I think was it called Contour? That was the one with like the Atari colored kind of like
yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. The one that was like
Yeah.
just basically set in a spaceship that was going through hyperspeed or some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Although
I don't think unless we get gameplay from this game, like I don't think it's going to mean anything. And even then, gameplay might not necessarily mean much either because we know how much things can change.
now Xbox has the rumor is that Xbox has said that there is going to be no CGI trailers in this showcase.
Well,
Whatever
I mean,
that
there may
means.
also be a bunch of gameplay trailers in these things too, so let's be careful with that.
Yeah. Double Fine. So last we saw was Psychonauts 2. They're working on a secret project, but they've shot down rumors that they're working on Banjo-Kazooie.
I would believe that there is a possibility of another Psychonauts game, and I know the other one only is like maybe 2 years old. Maybe
Yeah, I think it's like 2021, 2022 at most.
Okay.
Yeah, I could see them. I saw like somewhere a post like a rumor like, oh, maybe they'll do a third Psychonauts. I could see them kind of focusing on that franchise, just because it is a pretty solid franchise and people it was very well received. So I could see them kind of jumping on that and doing another one, kind of like how there was Ori and the Blind Forest, and then they did another Ori game. I could see that, but I definitely think that we will see Double Fine. That's too big of a studio.
Yeah, it might be
something
something
they're
very
working on.
small. It might even just be Tim Schafer just saying stuff for all we know. It may not even be actually revealing anything, but I think they'll be present in some aspect. And by the way, because I don't know what list you're looking at, is your alphabetical order different than mine? Because I'm looking at Coalition as well.
We get down to Coalition eventually.
Okay, so it's probably just because your list is just taking the as actual. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I just had the Wikipedia up, so I want to make sure.
Yeah, no worries. I think Double Fine's going to be there, but I think it's going to be a new IP personally.
New IP?
I think
like they're going to be there,
they're,
but I don't know if there's really anything to speak about on their behalf because I don't think we would have no idea what that's going to look like.
I think like the fact is like Double Fine is a super creative team. Like I don't think they want to be doing the same franchises over and over.
I don't know. I'd be pretty happy if they revealed Brutal Legend 2. I'd be fucking down for that.
I was just about to say that.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I'm going to say either like new IP or reviving an old one. Like I don't think they want to do they don't seem like a big
I'll just say it right now.
studio.
Fuck all your other ideas. Put a Brutal Legend 2 out.
Okay, let's do that. Brutal Legend 2. The game that nobody played, but everyone likes.
Yeah.
Anyone who did play it fucking loves that game. I have never heard anybody say they hated that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having Jack Black makes it.
Next one we have is In Exile. Studio best known for Wasteland series. They did Wasteland 3 and are supposedly working on a first-person RPG named Cobalt. It's going to be a Victorian-era styled steampunk adventure.
I could see that
the
just
Order
being
1886.
Oh, God.
But it might be good.
But it might be good. I like that.
Honestly, for all the hate, Order 1886 was a neat idea that just...
It's a launch game. Like, almost every launch game that isn't...
It wasn't.
Like...
It wasn't.
Wasn't
That's
it?
the problem. No, it was like... No, I think that was like 2016 or so.
All right, we're looking into that shit.
Yeah, look into this. I'm like, it's at least 2 years into the PS4.
Dang.
I don't think
keep talking while I look about this really crappy game that not a lot of people liked.
I have the collector's edition of that game just for the record.
Nice.
It was an extra $10. I'm like, I'm gonna go for it. Why not?
2015. Okay.
Hold ya.
Really?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
It's because it was a big part of, I think, the initial showcase for the PS4, and I guess it just kept getting delayed or something.
Do we think In Exile's coming in with their new game? Their first
I think it'll
shooter?
be shown. I don't think it'll be like a long reveal. I think it'll be like one of those shorter ones. A little bit of gameplay, a little bit of like more of a teaser, if anything. But I think they'll be shown.
I agree.
I think we're just getting the Bard's Tale HD, and that's it.
I would love that.
Mojang or Mojang.
I mean, if there's not Minecraft in there somewhere, something's wrong.
Yeah.
Well, they've got that Minecraft Legends that they're working on, and I think that's gonna be like because that was supposed to come. Did it come out? Minecraft the Legends?
Yeah, it came out in April.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if anything, we might get an update on like the ray tracing update for Minecraft. That might be about it. But I mean, unless they have like another project they're working on that we don't know about.
Yeah.
But like,
or
even without it, like, there's going to be something. Whether it's something that's being added to Minecraft, if it's some like cross promotional thing that they're doing, like there will be something there. If there's no Minecraft content in an Xbox showcase, that's where you start hitting the red button and going, okay, what's wrong?
I mean, we did have a PlayStation showcase with no Naughty Dog, no Insomniac, no
well, let's
like,
be honest.
we're
If we
missing
have
all of them.
a Sony conference with all of that, Microsoft without any Halo content or Minecraft, and then I don't know, like Ubisoft forgets to put Assassin's Creed in there somewhere, then I guess we're in real trouble.
They forgot to hit file save. They're like, oh, crap.
Damn it. I'm gonna put this one as a def. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Chris.
I was just gonna say they're definitely gonna be there, and I have a feeling it'll just be like Minecraft Legends. It'll be like a free update. Like
Hey,
they're
it's
just
out.
adding something to it. Like it came out in April, and look, now we're adding this to it. Yay, go play.
They probably had to nix the Redfall cross promotional thing already, so we'll see what else they do.
I'm gonna put this on because I'm pretty sure it's a definitive, but you guys can tell me if you guys want to take it off. We can.
Mojang has to be there.
Yeah, sorry, I put Mojang as yes. Ninja Theory with Hellblade 2. I feel like that's
a gimme.
there.
That has to be. If they don't show it, I'm worried. At this point, if we don't see anything about it, like if they don't show it, it's because they better have like its own separate thing after the show where they deep dive into it for like an hour because it's supposed to be coming out and nothing.
What about Obsidian? Right now, last we know is that they are working on the Outer Worlds 2.
I think actually we're more likely to see Avowed than we're going to see the Elders or on the Outer Worlds 2.
Really?
Yeah. Between the two of them, I would be far more likely to see Avowed than Outer Worlds 2 at this point.
Is Obsidian working on Avowed?
Yep.
Oh,
They got both of those games in their system right now.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
joke's on both of you. It's going to be Fallout New Vegas 2.
Oh my god, could you imagine? Could you imagine?
I mean,
so
yes, but also no, because that would be ridiculously stupid for a studio to have, hey, here's 3 things we're working on at the same time.
And they're big too. These aren't even small games, so. But yeah,
yeah, like I'd note it as like one of the Avowed or the Outer Worlds 2, but like I think if I was to put money on it, I'd say Avowed is more likely than Outer Worlds at this point.
Okay.
Maybe both.
Okay, yeah, they are working on it.
It could honestly be both. But
why not both?
if I was going one over the other, because I'm also thinking in my head, we're not going to get I guess we'd love to be overloaded with games in this thing. I don't think we're going to get literally everything though, so I'm kind of trying to like pick and choose.
No one has mentioned the Obsidian veteran game Pentiment. That one that looks like an old like 10th century. Is it?
Yeah, was that November?
Oh. Wow, that came out. That was sent to die.
I mean,
from what I understand, it's actually had pretty good reviews, but it just seems like one of those things that just didn't catch.
I think it's more of like a pet project kind of idea for them. I don't know. Like, yeah.
All right. Playground games. Forza
basically
games.
Fable is if Fable's going to be there.
Fable has to be there.
What they do, Forza too, right? Oh, but they're not doing Forza Motorsport.
Yeah, Turn 10's taking care of that.
Yeah.
They are working on Forza Horizon 5 with Hot Wheels. That one did that one get launched already?
I believe that one's already been launched. I should know because I don't own the content, and every time I see it on the map, I want to play it and I can't.
Yeah, me too. That's my life.
When it comes to Fable, honestly, like I think it's 50-50.
It has to be there.
It has to. I think it's going to be there.
Do I think it has to be there? Yes. Do I think it's going to? Like I'm 50-50 just because like it's one of those things where it keeps sounding like they're just having like it's in developmental hell, because I could have sworn we saw a story at sometime in the last like 6 months about it.
We're gonna get another CGI trailer. Let's give the 4th one. We're getting on a different.
No. You said
different Fable.
No CG trailers.
No,
it's
CG
not CG.
only.
It's hand drawn, hand drawn animation. They're going Disney.
Yeah, they're just gonna cheat the system. It's just gonna be Phil Spencer saying, "Yeah, Fable's in production. See, it wasn't a CG trailer. It counts."
It's gonna be sock puppets just talking to each other.
Like I would add it to the list of what should be there. Like I said, I think it's a coin flip at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's there.
Okay.
If I'm building my show, it's in there. Don't get me wrong, but like personally, I think it's a coin flip.
We're building it. Then we're gonna get back to it. All right. Rare. They were working on
Everwild,
and then they have Everwild.
Yeah.
I've heard very, very little about it. Seems like it's gone very quiet for that game, which makes you wonder if it's coming now, if that's the case.
I hope it's not.
Yeah, I think it is. But really, they're doing GoldenEye 2.
I want them to drop it, and I want them to make another Banjo-Kazooie. That's what Rare needs to do.
Nuts and Bolts 2.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
No, Adam, you're right. So next is the Coalition.
Oh, I got ideas about this one. I have
don't
a feeling.
think we're going to see anything major from Coalition unless it's like a repackaging of like a bunch of games.
I think they're gonna do a Gears, like, there's the Master Chief Collection where
Yeah,
they
that's
updated
what I'm
all the
thinking.
Halo games. I think they're gonna do a Gears, whatever the hell you'd call it, Master Chief Collection.
Like, there's enough
Where
time that you wonder if they would announce a Gears 6, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
Why not both?
Has the time for Gears come and gone? Are we past the cover-based?
I would make the
shooting?
argument that personally, yes, but I'm not deep enough into that community to know how big it is and how vibrant it still is.
Now, there is a rumor floating around that the Coalition is working on a new IP as well.
Well, I mean, that's
It's
the thing.
called Gears.
There's so many, like, especially when we don't know about a lot of these studios, what they've been working on, there's such a potential of, like, either them play the safe route, which is another Gears game, or all of a sudden, hey, here's this completely new thing. I mean, that's what made Bungie's Marathon such a big deal to those people in PlayStation, where they were just like, holy shit, Bungie's doing something else?
Yeah.
So it's possible. I mean, it's not like Coalition hasn't done, like, they did that quick, like, Matrix Awakens, like, Unreal showcase. So they've been working on other things potentially. So, I mean, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility.
Wait, that was the Coalition that did that?
Yep.
Oh, then I'm on board. I think they're gonna make an open world game. That's like
They were part of that with Epic and Warner Brothers to work on that.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
I can see them doing.
If they were like, hey, the Matrix game, here's a real thing that we're doing, I'm fucking in on that. If that's what Coalition comes out with, I'm in, because I've played the experience and
it's so good.
It is the coolest looking thing I've seen in a long time. That really showed like the power of what we could expect going forward.
Yeah. The Initiative supposedly working on, well, not supposedly, confirmed to be working on Perfect Dark.
I don't think we're getting that.
I don't think we're getting Perfect Dark.
No.
I don't know why I don't feel confident about that one.
Well, because I could have sworn we heard that they've literally had to scrap it and start again. In the last 12 months, we saw that story. I can't remember when, but I know I've seen that story.
I think they're probably just as far along as another CG trailer, and I think that's all we'd get. And they said it's not coming. That's not happening. So then I'm like, okay, Perfect Dark's not coming then.
Okay. We will not put them on our showcase then.
I would love if it's there.
Same.
This would help Xbox catch up in the industry 100%, but...
Look, apparently neither one of them really wants to have a good first-person shooter these days.
Catch up with the industry by releasing IP from like 2001.
Yeah, because we still want another one of them because the original one was so goddamn good and they butchered it so bad the next time.
Yeah. Turn 10?
No, Forza Motorsport is not going to be there in any aspect, and under no circumstances will there be any Forza content in an Xbox showcase.
Yeah, we're getting day of release.
The Last of Us Factions is more likely to show up in the Xbox showcase.
I disagree, Adam. No, that's going to be there. We're going to get
that is the biggest of gimmies, honestly.
Yeah, we're going to get the actual date. Who knows? Maybe it'll be like, it releases today, and it's on Game Pass right now. But I don't think that'll happen. I think it'll be later.
Okay. Undead Labs, State of Decay 3.
That should be there. It's been 5 years. Like,
yeah.
I mean, personally, I don't know if there's much of a need for a third State of Decay, but
they're already working on
new
it.
games.
Yeah, new games.
Also, if it's on Game Pass, I'd like to try it because I never got a chance to play the second one, and I actually really liked the first one when it was out way back in the day.
I've never played either, so I would definitely like to play one.
I'd love to go back into 2, but it's too late now. Like, I don't want to play a game that came out in 2018 that was meant to be an online game. I'd rather wait for the new one. But like, from what I remember playing of the first one, like, it had its rough edges, but it definitely did the zombie apocalypse, like, try to craft yourself together a lot better than even some games do now, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll put Undead Labs there with State of Decay 3. World's Edge, the last thing they did was Age of Empires. I don't think
if Age of Empires 4 hasn't come out on console yet, then yes, probably.
They haven't released it yet, but like, I mean, it's Age of Empires. Like, I feel like that's.
It was released on Windows in October of 2021, but it just says for Xbox Series X and S, it just says 2023. So I assume yes.
Yeah,
but I don't think it'll be like a massive trailer.
I'm gonna put that into like the sizzle reel thing. Like, hey, Age of
Yeah,
Empires
that's
is
kind of
now
sitting there
available
with like
console.
Compulsion in Exile and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think this is a no-brainer. Bethesda Softworks with Starfield.
What?
Yeah.
The
Well,
Xbox
Starfield
plus
was it-
Starfield Direct? No,
Yeah.
there's gonna be no Starfield content.
Yeah, I think it's after the actual showcase. It goes directly into the Starfield
Yeah.
thing. So it's
Oh, I
definitely
don't think so. I think what they'll do is they'll have something at the showcase, and then say like, and stick around later for a more in-depth, analysis of Starfield. Starfield will definitely be in the main show.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, they'll
Or
probably
they'll be
like
just
some
kidding.
either at the
This
start
game
or at
makes
the end. They'll have like their main gameplay trailer, and then they'll lead into a more like developer focused run.
Yeah. id Software, the Doom guys. Supposedly they're working on a Quake title, but we've not heard anything yet.
Oh, that would be big.
Doom Eternal though was.
I don't think
what?
I don't think it'll be at this one. I think that's one of the big ones that won't. Them and Arcane, I don't think we'll see.
Because it's been 3 years because it came out in 2020 was when Doom Eternal came out. Because I remember that came out with the pandemic.
Yeah, but
Animal
they put that
Crossing and
mobile
Doom.
game out recently. They don't have to do anything with Doom right now.
Okay, we'll put it
Yeah.
on the back burners. Arcane Studio, I think, needs to take a knee right now.
Yeah, no, the apology's already been done, so they're gonna be radio silent for a while.
No, guys, you're both wrong. They're announcing Redfall 2. It's happening.
It's gonna be Final Fantasy 14 A Realm Reborn, but Redfall.
Yeah. They just they're like, we're shutting it down and re-releasing it, guys. Yeah, actually, I think they will be there, but I think they're going to be announcing patches or something for Redfall or changes to make it not.
I don't know.
For their sake, don't show it. Like Microsoft, I don't care if it's in your lineup. Don't show it. It's not worth the absolute vitriol you're going to get in the chat and everywhere that you display this. Like, just take the L, let it die, and just make sure that it doesn't happen again. Because Arcane, for all intents and purposes, actually knows what they're doing, but just maybe this type of game wasn't what they should have been working on. Because, I mean, obviously with Dishonored and Deathloop, they've shown that they can make some pretty goddamn good games. It just seems like maybe live service isn't their forte, guys, like a lot of other fucking developers out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the way that they do it is they just like you don't bring them out there to kind of like pay the penance of like you don't rub their nose in it in that.
Phil Spencer's already talked about it. We don't need to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Tango Games Works.
They just released Hi-Fi Rush, so no.
Yeah.
No.
Unless there's like some extra bit they're putting out for it, maybe. But apart from that, no.
Oh yeah, like maybe some DLC.
Maybe something cool, like they're
added.
like, here's a vinyl record that we're gonna release with it that does something neat with it, but nothing much else.
Yeah. What else we got?
We're talking ZeniMax Machine Games is definitely gonna have something there.
Yeah, so I was gonna say Machine Games.
Dial of Destiny just is coming. Is it out in theaters now or no?
No,
no.
Well,
maybe.
Even regardless, it's this
I
year.
think it's July.
The Indiana Jones game is getting a trailer this year for sure.
They have to do it.
They have to.
Like they're
It's
also
the year
working
to
on
do it.
Wolfenstein 3, I believe, but they're gonna be putting Indiana Jones front and center. The timing just has to be there.
Yeah.
You don't have like the last Indiana Jones movie probably ever, unless they completely reboot it, come out and not show a trailer.
Yep. ZeniMax Online.
I thought
I
they
don't
were
think so.
potentially working on a Star Wars game.
Were they?
I could
I
could
don't
be wrong. I can't remember because okay, let's be honest. How many fucking studios now are working on a Star Wars game? Apparently, so.
Not enough. Not enough.
I don't know. We'll find out when all those games come out.
I'm gonna say ZeniMax might be there, but it might be like hey, Elder Scrolls Online still a thing. Come play.
Probably.
Oh, that's 100%. It's going to be an update.
This is a real update. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, they'll always do that because they got to keep the hype going as
Mm-hmm.
much as possible. Yeah, it'll be that.
Here's the big question, because I think we've run through everything. Do you think
I got one more. I got one more.
more?
There is the like the game studios that are publishing with Avalanche Studios Contraband. I think Contraband will be there.
Yeah, Contraband's gonna be there. If it isn't, it's dead.
What's the last game they had?
Avalanche Studios? Was it Just Cause?
Yep. Those were the studios. Those were the games that they were making. I don't know if it's the last ones they made, but that's what they're primarily known for.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we've got stuff like our like History Untold, like all that kind of stuff. But
well, my big question was going to be, do we think we're getting anything Activision Blizzard related here?
That was something I was going to ask next. Yeah, do we think Activision Blizzard? I think Diablo probably makes an appearance.
I think they'll, yeah, they definitely will do that and have kind of that worked in.
Well, I think the question ultimately is because, like, I don't think have they openly like advertised any trailers of Activision Blizzard stuff yet? Because I don't know if they have, because the merger's still technically in the air.
I've seen every time I've seen a Diablo advertisement on like YouTube or Spotify or anything, it's always Xbox led. Like,
well, Xbox themselves put out a trailer related to an Activision Blizzard game, like directly on their channels.
I've seen the advertisements on like people showing like their home screens with like a ton of Diablo stuff on there.
Because that's my wonder is, do they do that with the acquisition still sort of not finalized yet in some areas?
I've seen them push a lot of Diablo stuff specifically, like even on Twitter, where Phil Spencer and stuff will actually like put out tweets about Diablo. But I think they're kind of doing it smart right now, where it's like obviously they have a very big interest in this company, but like legally it's not their company, so it's more just what's the word I'm looking for, where two companies are working together and just
partnership.
Yeah, because I've even heard, I can't remember where I read the story, but apparently there's even rumors going around that they might just be pulling some things out of like the UK until that gets resolved. So,
yeah,
like, if things get released under the Xbox banner from that company, it's just going to not release in the UK.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Take Call of Duty away from the UK, everybody's going to be fine. No one will freak out.
I was actually going to say, I think I'm going to put a bet that we're going to see the next Call of Duty game listed on.
That is on my list of like if Activision's there, that's what's going to show.
Yeah, that would be smart. God, that would be smart.
Any other ones that we think that are going to that we're going to see show up?
Apart from that, and then I guess we'll kind of build a sort of a show that we think will happen. What does Game Pass do?
I don't think it needs to do anything.
Well, no, but they are going to announce like a couple of big name games to show up there. I honestly have like 3 ideas of picks. Call to the Lamb.
That'd be good.
Neon White. And honestly, I think since Persona 5 Royals recently put up there, I think they'll probably add either Persona 5 Strikers or Shin Megami Tensei 5, one of the two.
I don't think so.
I mean, it makes sense. Also, you don't care.
So. No, I don't. I really don't.
That's why I was laughing.
No, I know Atlas and Sony are pretty like. I think Sony would be like.
Well, if that was the case, Persona 3, 4, and 5 wouldn't be on Game Pass at all. So.
I don't think it's not that it won't be there, but I don't think that they would do an announcement kind of thing.
And as a side note, do you think Game Pass they add anything potentially to it? Like, do they add any sort of thing? Because I've heard some people float around the idea of them actually putting support on Steam Deck for Game Pass.
If that happens, I will faint. In a good way.
I don't think they would, because
well, no, but we've argued on the show before that all Xbox cares about is the most people getting Game Pass as possible. So when you think about it, putting support on Steam Deck would be a huge plus for them.
But counter to that is that if you put it on Steam Deck, then you're also cannibalizing a lot of sales on Steam, because right now Steam is the major go-to place for for gaming. Plus, Microsoft has the Game Pass already works, so why would they put it on their console? They've got their own little ecosystem, right?
Because they don't care, apparently.
I think that Adam might be right here, because Microsoft there's another Steam Deck that came out, the Asus ROG Ally or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And again, I just follow people from Xbox on Twitter, and on their main Xbox channel, they're actually promoting that actual system because it runs Windows 11 and has Game Pass on it natively.
Yeah.
They were advertising it like it was almost their own product. And with Steam Deck, they actually do have an official Microsoft guide on how to get Game Pass running on it through xCloud, where you install Microsoft Edge. They added Microsoft Edge to Linux just so that they could make this workaround where you actually basically launch Microsoft Edge from the Steam Deck, but it goes right into the Steam.
Because we're not saying they're putting everything on the Steam, so we're saying they're going to put a Game Pass app for Steam Deck users, so that way they can play it on there.
Maybe. I mean,
I mean, it makes sense, honestly.
I think it would make sense if they could figure out how to do it. I think it would be a corporate thing where it's like, okay, does that mean Steam gets 30% of something like subscriptions for people that are on the Steam deck and all that? Like, obviously they would want to work together, and who knows? I mean, it would be great. I don't know.
Unless Xbox lowballs them, Steam's going to say yes to mostly anything because it's just more money in their pocket to do almost nothing.
Yeah, but it would be, how does Microsoft pay Steam for an app that isn't games out of the Steam store, unless it somehow connects to the actual Steam store and you launch the Steam version of certain games. But who knows? I mean, Microsoft and Valve do work together. Obviously, all the Microsoft games are on Steam anyways, so who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool, though. I think that when it comes to Game Pass, we're going to see a big Game Pass like trailer of things that are coming. And there's going to be a bunch of releasing today, like the day of the showcase. This one's available today. This one's available today. This one's available today. I know that that's a good marketing strategy, and I mean, I just feel like that they've done that in the past, and I think they'll do it again.
They also could use a win there because obviously the traffic they were supposed to see from games like Redfall have not helped. So
yeah, and I think it'll be things like Cult of the Lamb and stuff. I think that's a perfect example. Popular games, but they've been out for a bit. Probably more indie side. I mean, there'll probably be some bigger games, but I feel like those won't be the ones that are like, and it releases today. It'll be things like Tunic was when it was releasing, and Microsoft made a big thing about
like they're
that.
gonna probably do a push for like a good couple of like the indie darlings from last year or even this year if there was anything that falls into that category. But
yeah, and I think there'll be some surprises of some stuff that's coming, kind of like when they announced Persona. I don't know if it'll be like Persona, but like something along those lines where it's like, oh, I wasn't expecting, Final Fantasy VII Remake or something to now go on Game Pass. But
yeah, there's going to be some like major Japanese series that we haven't seen on Game Pass yet because there's always a new one somewhere.
Yeah. All right. Anything else that we're wanting to add here?
I think we've got everything.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Well, do you want to build a basic show here?
Let's build a show here, guys. So what do we open with? Do we open with a IP that people are familiar with, or do we open with a fresh IP?
If you're not opening with Fable, I think that's... If Fable's there and you're not opening with that, I think that's the wrong choice.
The one that I'm thinking is, if I was opening it, I'd be opening with Indiana Jones.
Oh, that would be
if it's too. If it's a full-on gameplay trailer, maybe, but I don't think you're gonna get like a majorly long trailer. Like, I figure if you want to do something that's new IP, quote unquote new IP, it has to be something that's a long-length gameplay trailer. I don't see it being Indiana Jones.
Well, my thought is how I would do it is if this was Indiana Jones. Like, Indiana Jones is an easy sell. Like, it's a property that like people know, right? Like, you don't have to explain who Indiana Jones is. People know that, and it's a naturally exciting thing. Like, you could have an Indiana Jones chase where he's like jumping off a motorcycle onto a tank that's flying on top of a
look. Just reuse the footage from that one level of Uncharted where you basically start driving through an entire packed city. It's done.
That's what I'm saying. It's an easy one to just like throw in without context. Like, hey, it's Indiana Jones being Indiana Jones. Like, everyone gets it, and everyone understands it. It starts the hype, and it shows like, hey, we're coming here with like new, fresh games, kind of thing. Like, it's not just gonna be rehashed.
Like, not counting games that we don't know anything, like if that we don't know or even existing at this point. I think at this juncture, it's gonna be one of Fable, Indie, Hellblade 2, Starfield, or maybe a Call of Duty.
I don't know.
But I doubt Call of Duty would open.
Yeah, I don't think they'd open. And I don't know if Starfield would, just because...
Well, you're either doing Starfield to open it, and then you're going to reveal more later. I think you're probably closing with Starfield, something akin to, or to be like, hey, here's the big gameplay trailer to end, and then stay tuned for more from the developer.
Yeah.
So if we're going with that logic, then it's going to be probably either Fable or Indie.
Okay, I'm saying Indie, you're saying Fable. Chris, you're the tiebreaker. Where do you go?
If I had to build out my perfect one, I would go with Indie.
Okay, so we're starting with Indiana Jones. Where do we go from here? Now I'm going to say we don't have to pick every game because like we're not going to.
No,
be
but
everything.
Like to kind of brush.
We can say like go to Scissor Reel, and like Scissor Reel will just be like the quick fast. Updates,
you'll get you're
games.
Gonna follow that with Phil Spencer talking in his first of 7 shirts.
Okay, so Phil Spencer chats.
You probably follow up with news on, either Game Pass or, No, I don't know. I don't think we start with any game.
I say
think
you go
Game
with a
Pass is
one-
more in the middle of the show.
I think you do a 1-2 punch, and we need to come up with another big game. And
I don't think
this
it's a
might be something
1-2
where
punch. I think you do one punch, then you have Phil Spencer talk, just give a
Yeah,
little
no.
spiel, and then you start with the next one, which is probably something more of like the high mid tier, which you would be like a Hellblade or a Contraband.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Hellblade. That's where my mind
Yeah,
was.
I think. Yeah.
Something that's like people already know about. It's not like a brand new announcement, but
Mhm.
people do want more info, and it's enough to keep the hype like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Strong. Yeah.
And then after your second big hit, then you start doing a quick scissor reel of a few things from the smaller studios, like your Compulsions, your In Exiles, your World's Ends.
Yeah.
Maybe you throw. I don't know if we talked about this, but there was that game Replaced, which was from that developer that they had a bunch of people out in Ukraine that they were supposed to be getting done this year. But it was the one that was like Cyberpunk, but sort of side-scrolly in a pixelated form.
Oh,
if you guys
I remember that. Yeah.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, I remember this one.
Like,
I think they might.
I think you're going to see after the
preoccupied.
first two, you're going to see a scissor reel of a bunch of smaller
yeah.
properties. I don't think you get the indie reel yet.
Yeah.
I think the indie reel comes more after in like the second half with the scissor reel there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you get a sizzle reel now with like some of like the smaller things. Might be like then opening up into a conversation about Game Pass.
Yeah, you're gonna do like the scissor reel, then you probably bring in like Forza to kind of get the palette switch. And then maybe you go into something like a Contraband or an Avowed or whatever Obsidian's working on kind of deal.
Let's slow down a little bit. So we've got an opening. We got Indiana Jones opening. Phil coming out talking to us. Hey, Xbox is great. Buy an Xbox. Hellblade comes out. We got a sizzle reel. Where do we go from here? What's next?
I think you go like either like something like to palette cleanse, which is like a Forza or
I was gonna say Forza.
a Contraband or something like that. Like it's still big, but not your high tier yet. You're still working your way into building up again.
I don't know. Yeah, I can see Forza. That's what I
because
like
say. We already pushed Fable to not opening, so Fable is going to be like third or second last.
Yeah, it's got to be near the end.
Yeah,
Fable is like the one more before they go full Starfield.
Yeah.
See, the problem I have with Forza is that Forza's a weird game to put in your showcase because it's like some people are going to lose their minds and then some people are going to tune out at this point. Like this,
but that's every game studio.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have
100%.
that section, like EA, whenever they used to have their sports section. If
100%.
you're an actual gamer, you don't give a fuck about the EA sports section. But if you're the other 20 million people that literally buy 3 games all year, that's your section. So,
mm-hmm. But they're not watching.
There's going to be like a good, let's say if there's 50,000 people in the Twitch chat watching that stream, there's going to be at least like 1,000 people watching that are going to be like, fucking Forza, yeah! And then they're going to leave.
So we come up with Forza. Things are getting we've had a sizzle reel. We've got some Forza. We've probably lost some people now between the indie game, sizzle reel, and Forza. How do we bring them back? I think
you're booking out whatever Obsidian's working on, and then probably Contraband.
Yeah,
Outer Worlds too. Or
the other thing too.
Unless you're throwing in more updates, like around, like if you're still palette cleansing and you're doing Forza, then maybe you throw like Halo updates, or maybe if there's like a Gears collection, like we suggested earlier, maybe there is a section of like, here's like the major stuff that like most of you either already playing or know that it exists. So, like you do the Forza run, you do a Halo run, you do Gears or whatever else is coming in, you do a couple of those, and then maybe you move back in. But
I would say at this point, I would either say you're going to bring in either Coalition with their new IP, or you bring in Exile with their new IP. I think this is where you bring a new IP.
Oh, a new IP would be good. Yeah, to get
maybe. I don't think whatever In Exile is working on is going to be big enough to get in that world. That's why I kind of have them sitting in like their own section, like of a myriad of like new IP trailers that are like them, Compulsion, that kind of stuff. I don't think those are going to be like game breakers or no game changers, I should say.
No, I feel like Xbox, like the problem they have is they don't have a lot of games coming out, and I don't think that they have enough steam in the engine to kind of be like, hey, like we could just dismiss, like if they have a new IP coming out.
And
like,
also we got to remember too, like we're just going off of first party. Like there's going to be third party stuff in there as well that we'll just have no idea what's going to be what. Yeah, like
that's true.
They probably throw in a 16 trailer because Square can't get enough of throwing 16 trailers in people's faces.
I don't think 16 is 16 coming to Xbox. I thought that's PlayStation exclusive.
No, it's PlayStation exclusive.
Okay, well then, Kingdom Hearts 4.
Square Enix is just so desperate they don't care what the cost is. Just Xbox, we need people to see this game. We'll give you whatever you want.
You say that, but it just seems like that's all they want to do is advertise that fucking game.
Yeah.
All right. So, Chris, you're with me on the new IP. Where do we go? Do we go Coalition or do we go in Exile.
If there is no Gears news, then we go Coalition.
Okay. New IP, and I'm going to put either Coalition or in Exile, just so that we're getting them off the lists.
Actually, that's true.
Okay, cool.
I think after that, you probably get a couple of third-party runs. I don't even know if we should bother like guessing what that is, but I think at some point you just put third-party section.
I'm going to put in this section. Let's put that as like the Activision section. Activision / third party.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could just say that. So if there is any Activision content or any third-party content, you know, if Capcom's dropping anything or if Ubisoft is throwing anything in there, like I think that's probably the point where you do a couple of those.
Cool. All right. So of the ones we have left, I'm going to take 343. I don't think 3 or 3. Yeah, excuse me.
They're going to do a Halo Infinite update of some sort. Like it's going to be short. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's no way they don't.
Now, is this enough to be put as a marker in our thing, or is this just part of a sizzle reel?
I mean, it's just part of the sizzle reel, right?
Okay,
like they're going to be there and they're going to say, actually, no, I think they'll have like an actual trailer of like season 4 stuff.
Yeah, I think it'll be like a season 4 trailer that's like just a couple minutes, like not anything big, just kind of like what you'd assume where something's happening, where it's like because Phil's changing one of his shirts, so it's just something they throw up so he can get changed.
Do we want to put that on our list, and where do we put it?
I mean, just stick it around the same point, honestly.
Same point as what?
Like what we're doing right now. Just
Like
have
right
it
now.
as like, even just put a section of like current Xbox already released games updates. Like just something like that, like updating current games.
So I feel like that would come around the Game Pass era.
Yeah, that's closer to Game
Well,
Pass,
that's why we're kind of getting close to that point too, because we're now around the midway point.
Okay, so are we doing a Game Pass / update section?
Yeah, I think that's probably where we're going to get to.
Okay. So I'm
And
going
then
to put that
I
as
follow
like Game
that up
Pass
with
updates.
we're either
Here's
going
what
to
we
get
have-
something like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Here's what we have left, and let me know what is gone. Like, we'll get rid of a couple here. So 343 is gone as part of that update. We're gonna get rid of Mojang because that'll probably be part of that update.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think that's about. And then we got that one. So what we have left on our list is we have. Do we think Compulsion's gonna be there?
So I
Like,
think at this point we get another reel of like a couple of their first party smaller stuff. I think we get a Compulsion. I think we get Everwild. I think we get like a State of Decay.
I feel like State of Decay and Everwild are big enough that they'll have.
Well,
their own
I'm
thing.
just saying, I'm
It
just
would be,
putting
yeah.
names out there. I don't fucking care which ones they are. I'm just saying we're gonna get a couple of smaller studios.
We're building we can't go with that whatever kind of list. We're building a list here out of
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we weren't doing
Professionalism.
every individual game, Kaylan.
professionalism. Well, it's on the list or it's not.
Roll the tape back. I heard you the first time. You said we weren't gonna do game by game.
Well, we're building the list. If it's not worth having its own spot on the list, it's not on the list.
Okay, fine. 3
Okay.
games for studios that we don't care about. Done.
Okay, that's under Game Pass and updates. There we go.
Those aren't updates.
All right, fine. We'll have another sizzle reel.
Jeez.
We can't have too many sizzle reels all together.
We
Gotta
have
spread
2
them out.
apparently.
You palette cleanse with
So
Did we
what
already
have left
know?
is-
Did we already note down Obsidian?
We did not put it. So the ones we have left is we have Double Fine, Obsidian, Playground, Rare, Undead. Oh no, we said Undead's going to be part of that update, which I disagree with, but that's
So
okay.
then I think you palette cleanse the reel with the big Obsidian game. That's whether it's Outer Worlds 2 or Avowed.
The other one we
Oh
have is
wait,
we have
or
Contraband.
Hellblade, because I don't think we mentioned Hellblade yet.
We did do Hellblade. So we did.
Okay, so we did.
Our
Then
list,
yeah,
yeah,
Obsidian without question now.
or Contraband.
No,
Okay. What, Adam, Chris, what do you think?
Which one's Contraband again?
that was the
Contraband
one that
is
had
that-
the
1940s
low
speakeasy
rider
mobster
low
thing.
ride music in the trailer.
We have
Low
not
rider
seen
music.
much.
Yeah, it was like
don't
this
even remember this
basic
at all.
trailer where it was showing like, I guess it's like cocaine like mock up out in like like Havana or something, and then they're just playing Lowrider as the trailer music.
So Contraband is a co-op smuggler's paradise set in the fictional world of 1970 Bayan from Avalanche Studios. If you
Chris,
saw
throw
that,
that one in there.
okay, where are we putting that? Are we putting that before Obsidian or after Obsidian?
After
Before.
you're the
this
tire now, son of a bitch. Get moving.
I'm not used to this. Don't push me. I rarely
Yeah,
have
Chris
this
is
position.
always the tiebreaker.
Yeah. Now you feel my pain, man. Now you feel it. Because both answers are correct, aren't they?
I think we do. I want to say Contraband and like that because that's a way to like it almost fits in that sizzle reel, and then Contraband gets its own little moment, and then we hit them with. No, you know what? Obsidian. You're right. It's Obsidian.
Sure, all
And
that.
I think given with what's left,
So here's what we have left.
I think you do an indie showcase that includes Everwild because it kind of falls into that sort of like area.
Well, we just had a scissor reel.
Yeah, but that was with their first party studios. I think we're just having like an overall indie reel that includes third party games.
Everwild
They
is
always
not
have
third
an
party.
indie reel in like the second half usually.
Everwild is not a third party though; it's first party.
Yeah, but as I said, roll the tape back. You have an indie reel that also includes Everwild because it has a similar vibe to it.
Okay, cool. All right, so we
and
have.
then I think that covers everything until you end with the 1-2 punch of Fable and Starfield, unless you guys have anything else.
You forgot Contraband again.
We just decided they were next to Obsidian.
Yeah, I'm putting in the next. Give me a second.
You're
All right.
going too fast for you.
You are. I'm not used to doing two things at once. I'm doing the front end stuff. You're the ones usually running this. All right.
Good Lord.
So we've got.
I should have been running this.
So we have two left. Fable and Starfield.
Yeah, it's Fable then
Fable.
Starfield.
Then Starfield.
I don't know. Fable would be a. Good
You're already
one-
losing
one
2
more
to
thing.
1.
All right, fine.
Because you got to end with Starfield, so you can say stick around after.
You
the
end
show
with like
for
like
more details.
Spider-Man did. You have a 10-minute gameplay trailer that goes through a bunch of stuff, and then you end with the developers talking about it afterwards.
You're probably right, but this anti-climax.
You're just mad
how I
because
do
you know I'm right.
No, like I feel like what I would do, like do it halfway through the show, so that way, and then it's like, hey, stick around at the end of the show for more details.
I don't.
'Cause I
I
feel like
don't.
they've
If
done
they
that
do
before.
that, I don't like that personally as a viewer because it's like, no, I've saw the gameplay trailer. I don't give a fuck about what the developers say.
And it's also we're still having one more reveal. They're reviewing. They're going to reveal Project Series Q, which is a cloud-only.
I thought they were revealing Project Luigi's Mansion Splinter Cell.
I hate you so much.
I was bringing that back. I waited for my turn.
Okay, so here's the show that we have. Opening
Right.
is with Indiana Jones. Phil comes out, blah blah blah. Hellblade 2, we do a sizzle reel. Then we move into Forza. Then we present a new IP either from Coalition or In Exile. Then we do our third-party Activision stuff. We go into Game Pass conversations, talk about updates on games that have already been released. Another sizzle reel that also includes Everwild. Then we go into Avowed, Contraband, Fable, and we finish off with Starfield. And stay tuned for more details from the conference.
Yeah, I think you can interchange the Obsidian Contraband with the Everwild / Indie sizzle reel, but I think that's probably about the same spots that they'll be.
Okay. Well, let's see
Yeah.
how we do next week. I'm excited to see. So by, I guess, yeah, this time next week, yeah, we'll be, we can compare.
Now
our
that's
notes and see how we
assuming
did.
all of that shows up. Now, like, we also went through what we thought was going at PlayStation's showcase, and it was like 5% of that. So, to actually ask the honest question, though, how do you guys actually feel going into this now, knowing what PlayStation's shown off?
I feel, as also an Xbox fan, I feel hopeful that Xbox will pull itself out of being so far behind. Like it may actually give a bit of hope. That's how I'm, and that's more hope. It's
Like
not
we
like
we put the Sony conference at somewhere around like a C+ range. Where are you like? Well, apart from hoping it's an A, because of course we want it to be an A because that means good competition. Where do you kind of like guess it's going to end up being?
about the same as Sony's. I feel like we're going to show up. We're going to get like a 45-minute trailer for Battletoads 2 and then Starfield, and then it's over. Like, it's just...
Because like
I don't know.
my brain is going somewhere in the B-B range at most. I don't know if even Microsoft has enough to actually push it that far over the edge. I think it might just be a matter of we'll come back and say, at least they fucking showed shit they had. Because at least they'll be going back to that, be like, they already did better than Sony just because they actually show that they're making stuff.
Yeah, I see. I'm of a different mind. I feel like this has to be an amazing show. Like they have to blow
Yeah.
this out of the water, and for a couple reasons. One, they have to. I mean, like they're playing catch up all the time, and they can only be the mediocre third for so long before, like, they're there to make money, and they're not making money if they just constantly don't have anything to show for. And second, we've been hearing nonstop about like Xbox acquisitions, them developing games. Like you got to eventually do something with that. Like we've heard constantly, like, hey, we've gotten studios, we're building games, we understand exclusives are important, blah blah blah. And they've announced games that are being made, but we've not seen anything. Like,
well, I
nothing's
mean, the
come
argument
of
was
it.
is that they were doing that with all these acquisitions, and then Redfall came out, and we had, oh wait, just because they're making stuff doesn't mean they're good. Oh dear.
No, but what I'm saying is that for so long we've been hearing this story of like, hey, we're working on building games. There's been announcement after announcement of games being developed. We need to start seeing some stuff. You can't just announce
Yeah,
games. for
no,
the
I
sake of
I
announcing.
think they're
And
gonna overload
we're
us
at the
pretty
point
well.
where we're at the point it has to happen, right? So like, I don't think it needs to be like blockbuster, triple A. Oh my god, like my eyes are bleeding. It's so good. But like, I think it's like if they can come out with like, hey, here's a bunch of like double A even level stuff. Like it doesn't have to be triple A stuff. Like I understand that they're in the back, like they're third. They're like not doing as well as Sony, whatever. And I still have of the mind that Game Pass is not healthy for like game development, and I've talked about that in the past. But I think what they need to come out with, what Xbox needs to do, is come out with new titles. They need to come out with new IP. They need to come up with fresh ideas. PlayStation needs to come out and like just keep doing what they're doing in terms of like, hey, we know what you're doing, just show us more of that. Xbox needs to show that we're doing new stuff. And I think that they've been talking about that for so long that if they don't bring it here, when are you going to bring it, right? It's been 3-4 years and there's been nothing. So
Like,
I
I
think
think
this is
as we
good. This
talked about
is
it
gonna be
last time, I think they're going to come out and have a better show in terms of quantity of what we see. I don't know if that necessarily translates to being good quality in the end. But I think their goal, honestly, is to at least get people jazzed up for the next 12 to 24 months. Whereas Sony came out and went, yeah, we're probably making stuff.
yeah, and like, but I'm not saying it has to be. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
good
like
in the
we're
sense of,
we're
like,
looking
release.
at, is it going to generate a hype machine, which I think they 100% will come out and do. But I don't think it's going to be so far above and beyond Sony that we're going to be like, holy shit, Microsoft just won the war with this. I think it's going to be mostly like, yeah, it looks like they're kind of catching up now. But I don't think that based on what we've seen that there's enough of a track record to even see if they put a bunch of new IP out into the ether that means anything. Because we got to see them actually succeed first before we start taking those seriously. Like if Contraband, say it's coming out this year, if Contraband ends up being like an 8 or 9 out of 10 game, we go, okay, stuff's coming. But right now, like we were supposed to be jazzed when Redfall came out. Redfall came out to being a gigantic pile of crap.
No one was jazzed for Redfall.
I was curious
No
about
one was
Redfall.
I was definitely
That's not
curious.
jazzed. That's not jazzed. Curious is not jazzed.
Okay, well then the argument is I'm not going to be jazzed about anything that I see in this showcase, so it's going to be an F. Because I don't care. Like Xbox has not done anything that makes me suddenly like interested in their platform. It's just because most of the games that they have that are quote unquote working for them right now are 20 plus, like they're old as fuck, like Gears and Halo, and like they're
Those
not
aren't working for them.
They're not doing it anymore. Like unless you're really holding on to the old days, it's kind of gone. So like new IP sure is cool to see, but unless the gameplay that they show with those, because we're assuming there's no CGI trailers in this show, I don't see what they're gonna do that makes me suddenly go, okay, Microsoft's gonna suddenly start taking a stranglehold on the game experience. I think it's more just a case of, please, for the love of God, show us that you're doing some stuff, so at least there's things to look forward to, because you've had like 2 years of nothing. Like Sony doesn't put out a lot of stuff either, but at least when they put it out, it's been good. Like Microsoft, anything that they've put out has not been all that great, because even their big ones, like Halo Infinite, has just been a massive disappointment to a lot of people. So like they're at a point where sure, they can kill it with just a quantity-ridden show at this showcase, and I'm sure we'll come here and say like, yeah, there seems to be a lot of cool stuff here. But we also left the PlayStation conference being like, okay, well, they were missing a bunch of stuff, but there was some cool stuff. Like, I don't want to just leave that Xbox showcase going, yeah, there were some cool things there. I want to leave going, holy shit, that's coming up for Xbox? And I just don't see what that's going to be, honestly.
Holy crap, CD. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and holy crap, CD Projekt Red had Idris Elba come out to show the new DLC. You don't know they may do it.
Well, I mean, I
for
think
me,
I
like-
think that's already guaranteed to be at Summer Game Fest, so no.
Yeah. So the way I'd sum up like what needs to happen with Xbox is it needs to be that GIF of like Mince
Vince
the guy
McMahon?
from Thank you, where he's in that chair and he's just like, oh, it gets more excited and falls into his. That's what Xbox needs to do. It needs to be like, oh, this looks cool. Oh, this looks cool. Oh, this looks cool. That like I'm gonna go out and go buy an Xbox. That's what it
Now
needs
watch
to do. And I know
how
it's not
like 3 to 5 of the games that we've mentioned are going to finally come out with gameplay trailers, and they're going to look like live service games, and we're going to be like, no.
This is Sony has tripped, and it is a straight layup for Xbox, and it's theirs to drop the ball. Like I'm at the point where I'm like, what am I excited for my PlayStation? I guess Spider-Man. That's cool. I don't know what else is left. Apparently, a bunch of live service games, which I don't give a fuck about. But Xbox could easily come and be like, hey. You like those single-player story-driven games? Here you go.
I don't think that's what we're going to get, but we'll see.
They could.
No.
But I'm just saying, that's the situation.
Oh,
it's
They
it's
could.
their situation, right?
And if they're smart, that's what they
definitely
lead.
lack
That's what they'd start with, especially. Like they better lead with like some stuff to really overwrite what PlayStation did in their bit. So,
But why wouldn't Xbox do that? Because think about it. Why
because
wouldn't It's
Xbox has
working-
clearly not made good decisions in the last 12 months either.
Yeah,
you
we'll
said
see.
10 years wrong.
We'll see.
Look, I was trying to be nice.
Adam, you wanted to bring it up. I feel like we'll have to wait and see what's going on with Xbox. But Xbox is not the only show going on this week or in the next couple weeks. So what are you guys also looking forward to? We've got Summer Game Fest coming up. We've got Ubisoft coming up. We've got Capcom announcing a show. Like, what else are you guys hoping to see over what I'm going to call the loose E3 month?
Yeah, I mean, like Summer Game Fest is such a wild card just from the amount of publishers that have said they're going to have something there, whether it's, over the course of the week or whether it's at that showcase. So there's either potential for them to be some like pretty interesting stuff there, or it's just, a lot of reminders of what could be there. I mean, when it comes to Capcom and Ubisoft, I don't know if you're going to see anything amazing there that suddenly changes things. Like, I think Ubisoft's going to be pretty basic. You're going to get your Assassin's Creed. You're going to get probably Skull and Bones. We're going to laugh at that again. You're going to probably get Avatar. You're going to probably get the Sands of Time remake. Well, actually, that's probably not happening now. You're going to get a Just
it's still
Dance thing
happening.
because there always is.
Oh, yeah. People are going to dance.
You're going to get The Crew, even though I have no idea who plays that game. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I've
think
never
they're
heard
gonna-
of a single person who's played a Crew game.
I own the first one. Never opened
You
it.
didn't. You never said you played it though.
See?
No,
Proves
I've
my
never
point.
even installed it.
The only interesting thing is I think they're working on a Star Wars game, are they not?
They are.
So that could be a possibility. But that's
I
like
would like to see that.
that's the only curious thing I can think out of it because there's no way Beyond Good and Evil 2 is there. I would be shocked if it is at this point.
No, that game's dead.
That would be amazing if it was.
With
But no, it
Capcom, I don't see there being too much either. I mean, Resident Evil 4 just came out. They might have a reminder of the VR trailer. I think a good chunk of it's just going to be Exoprimal and maybe more Dragon's Dogma 2. You may get something like maybe there's more Monster Hunter. I know that they're apparently working on a mobile game with Niantic for Monster Hunter, so that might be something they briefly show. But like in terms of new stuff, like unless they come out of the ether and be like, hey, here's a new Mega Man game, and we're going to be like, oh, cool. Why is it not Legends 3 like we've asked you for 20 years?
No, that's the one. That's the one they're announcing.
Okay, well, look, if Mega Man Legends 3 has a trailer at this showcase, I will literally say I don't care what the rest of these companies do. Capcom just won. Or whoever shows
for
it
me-
wins.
See, for me, like I look at Summer Game Fest, and I'm sure there's gonna be some stuff that's cool there, but like I always just see Summer Game Fest as like a token thing that people throw like the leftovers of their shows at. It's like,
Well,
oh
I mean,
yeah,
at
like
least
send
in
them this
terms of
trailer.
what's confirmed, like there's an okay amount, like with what's confirmed. I mean, we know Mortal Kombat 1's going to be there. Alan Wake 2 is going to get another trailer. Lies of Pi, and I believe Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty are the things confirmed.
Those
You
are
have a feeling
updates.
Death Stranding 2 is going to be there somewhere, so that's just going to get
That's
all the
another-
memes going.
But those are all updates. Like it's not new stuff. It's just
Yeah, but
hey, here's
so
some more
is going to be a
information.
vast majority of what Microsoft shows. Like, you think it's going to be like 30 new games? No, it's going to be like 25% new stuff and 75% updates or games that we already heard about.
I'm just saying, for me, like the excitement for Summer Game Fest is pretty low. Like I always felt like it was like it's always to me felt like B tier. Like everyone saves their S tier stuff for like their conferences, and then it's like the leftovers go to.
Well,
to
here's
Jeff
why
Keighley.
it's such a wild card to me. You know who's not doing a showcase at this point? EA. You know what EA's got in the pipeline? apart from Skate 4, which I figure is probably going to be there, that would be one of my bets to see at Summer Game Fest. Respawn's working on a first-person shooter for Star Wars. That is a right up the front alley for where Summer Game Fest would show that kind of stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that would be.
Because like there's a lot of interesting things. I mean, it's Sony's also listed to be there in some aspect. I don't think they're going to show something that they didn't say for their own showcase, but
they're announcing a PC port. That's what they're doing. Ghost of Tsushima is coming to PC,
which is a pretty big announcement for a lot of people.
I mean, it's a 4-year-old game that you can play on
PS4. Yeah. Take the Jeff Keighley hate hat off your head there, bro. I think there are a couple of interesting things that could show up. I mean, given all the companies that aren't there, and this also applies to Xbox's show too, because again, we're talking third-party stuff that we have no idea what's going to be there or not. I mean, we know Path of Exile 2, which is a big thing for a lot of PC gamers, is supposed to be coming out this year, so that might happen. BioWare may throw something because they've already advertised Mass Effect on the Game Awards before, so maybe something to do with Dragon Age or Mass Effect could show up. The Yakuza next edition could possibly show up somewhere. Even I can't think of what, I think it's Skydance, the studio that took Amy Hennig, and they're supposed to be working on a Captain America Black Panther game. Like, that's something that could possibly happen. That's another thing too. There's a few untitled Marvel games that are apparently in production by different studios that we could see at some point too. So there's a lot of interesting things, not to mention I will not believe it if no Final Fantasy VII Rebirth shows up anywhere in the next 7 days. Like, there's just so many things that are missing that just seem weird that they haven't appeared at Sony, so they have to appear at either Summer Game Fest or Microsoft. And that's kind of like that weird thing of like, there are some things that there's just no way that they aren't showing up at any of these showcases, because then it means that they're not coming out in the next 6 months, which would be not great.
Yeah, for me, like, my excitement's low. Like, the one stuff, the two things I'm looking forward to is I'm looking forward, well, 3 because I already got it 1. Like, I'm excited to see more Mirage, which we're going to see at the Ubisoft conference. Splinter Cell, I'd love to see it there, and then seeing what Ubisoft is doing for Star Wars. That's about all my excitement is for these other shows. Like, the rest, I don't really have high hopes.
Yeah, like,
not to sound like a downer,
Ubisoft
but
is probably not going to be too great because they haven't had good shows for a long time.
Ubisoft shows are great.
Okay, they're entertaining, but they don't ever have anything of substance in them.
They are 100% entertaining, and there's usually some good stuff. I've always walked away from Ubisoft excited about something.
Well, yeah, but one thing does not count for the other 45 minutes that you wasted.
That's Summer Game Fest too. Just putting on my Jeff Healy hat back.
All right, well, I can't wait to come on the show and literally shit all over you with the amount of stuff that's going to be.
We will see. We will see. You
I am
excited today.
I am fired up because, well, here's the thing. If Microsoft doesn't show a bunch of stuff at the show that's third party, where the fuck else is it? I'm putting all of my eggs in the Summer Game Fest basket because if it isn't there, I'm going to be fucking furious because that was supposed to be Sony's job and they didn't do anything. So
we will have to see.
That's the Wholesome Direct or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the Wholesome Direct. There
Wholesome Direct is going to have Baldur's Gate 3 or for well, I guess the PC gaming show could have a couple of interesting things, but they usually are more like, they're more akin to the real-time strategy and that crowd. Yeah. So I don't expect to see anything too amazing there. Yeah. At least for my niche, I don't expect to.
Yeah. Chris, what about you? What are you excited for?
Definitely, I want to see a lot more of Mirage. It's like, I'm actually excited about it. I'm worried I'm going to get my hopes up, but still I want to see more to kind of get that confirmation. But yeah, like, it's tough because there is a bunch of things that I'd love to see, but I feel like they're all just kind of random. So if they're gonna show up, they're either gonna be in the third party with Xbox or in Summer Games Fest. Ubisoft, I don't know, like, I could see them doing like a Tom Clancy game and stuff like that, which
I think they're already doing that because I think X Defiant just had its beta.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, there you go. Assassin's Creed basically is my number one, and other than that, I don't have much else.
Unless that Star Wars game is amazing. Like, let's be honest. Like,
Star Wars, yeah.
Are any of us really caring about Skull and Bones? No. I don't know if either of you guys are interested in an Avatar game, but I do not care, even if I did like the movie.
I am excited to see that because not excited. Extremely curious. I would like to sit and watch what the heck that is going to be about, because I've heard so much about it, and it's like, it's It's like Beyond Good and Evil 2. Actually, no, I really want to play that. It's kind of like Skull and Bones. I don't care about it, but like I would love to know what the hell is going on over there and like get something so I can understand like what is this company doing to itself. I kind of
I mean,
want
either
that.
that or they'll throw like one new IP in a la Watch Dogs where you're like, holy shit, that's such a cool concept. And then your brain has to snap back and go, oh, wait, Ubisoft is making this. It's probably not going to be as good as we think it will.
It's going to be open world, 100%. Their car game, The Crew, was open world, I believe. So,
Yeah.
it's
Is there
gonna
like, unless anybody else has anything else, is there like a one like super reach that you wish shows up, even though there's no goddamn chance?
Splinter Cell. I've talked
again-
about it.
Oh wow, I love how even he admits that Splinter Cell's not going to be there.
Yeah, I don't think I have one. Like, I think I'm more also just waiting for Nintendo to say that they have a Nintendo Direct, and then if they do, then my far reach would be like Super Mario Odyssey 2 or something. Like, I just throw that out there.
Where is Mario? We haven't seen him since Odyssey, and that was
Yeah.
back in 2016.
He's
You
been doing all
clearly
this
got Mario
sports-
Rabbids. Like, chill the fuck out.
At December Game Fest.
That's
So- Once again, Nintendo's like, what do we got? Throw him that Rabbids one, whatever. I'll shut McKeely up. He'll stop calling if we give him that.
Yeah, I'd say I want more Final Fantasy 16, but I don't because not that I'm not super excited for
I mean,
the
it's been a
game.
drip feed. It's a drip feed of stuff.
I've seen so much that at this point it's just like, all right, it's the end of this month. I just want to play it.
What do you think about the comment though that Jeff Grubb made recently, where he basically said, like, look, from what I've heard, the 9 remake is 100% a real thing.
That would be insane. Okay, fine. My far reach then is that. Like, if that's the thing I want to randomly show. Square's not doing its own show though, right?
No. And if they did, it
don't
would be
think they-
boring as hell because apparently their idea of a show is a press conference.
Yeah, and I feel like they wouldn't give a Final Fantasy 9 remake to Summer Game Fest.
No,
would
they would do it on like if they would do it
that's
either at Sony or Xbox or whoever is going to potentially buy them down the road at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean I would love 7 remake and like 9 remake, that'd be great. Like but the 7 remake too, like some info, like hey, is it still coming out this year? What does it look like? Can anything please besides a logo? Like
Yeah, I mean
I guess
my reach is basically a Mega Man Legends 3, which is obviously never going to happen. The only other thing I can think of is I'd love to see like as a casual thing that they show that they're doing another Ace Attorney bundle because there's still the 3 newest ones in Apollo Justice, Dual Destinies, and Spirit of Justice that haven't gotten the trilogy treatment because the only ones you can get right now is the initial 3 and then the Victorian era ones that they had that I haven't tried yet. So I'd like to actually play the rest of the Ace Attorney series because now that I finally finished the original trilogy, I want to play more of it because those games are really freaking good.
yeah, I guess I got to play those.
Apart from that, I would love to see the Last of Us factions at Summer Game Fest just to watch Kaylan completely lose his mind. to be like, great. Not only does it actually show up now, but it's also at Summer Game Fest. I'm gonna eat so much crow next week.
It's not happening.
And if that was the case, I would literally like record myself and just send you a DM and be like,
I would be up at night wondering how Jeff pulled that off where they like Sony Showcase was what it was and if
he
if
paid
they
them in
managed to get
Doritos and Mountain
backers-
Dew, right?
Yeah, like what money would you throw at Sony for them to give one of their biggest games to Summer Game Fest and not their own showcase? Like that would have been
Yeah.
I was
insane.
gonna say, hey, I'll put a good word in Kojima, but I think Xbox bought a Kojima, didn't they? Or not? They don't think they bought him, but so much as they have a partnership right now, right?
I
At
think
the same
so,
time,
yeah.
I've heard that Kojima also has a partnership with, like, he just goes back and forth.
Yeah, I don't think there's necessarily a deal with Kojima so much as just you're like, hey, we gonna do stuff, and Kojima's like, yeah, and then walks up and be like, you want to do stuff? Just starts going around to everybody.
It's
I mean,
like the episode. Did you guys ever watch Community?
Oh yeah.
It's like that episode of Community with the conspiracy theory where the dean just keeps making alliances with everyone, and it's like you're not making conspiracies if you're just allying with everyone.
Yeah.
And that's just Kojima. He's just like, sure, I'll be in your alliance, but I'm not gonna be in theirs. But I'm also gonna have the alliance with them. It's like then you have an alliance with everybody.
Yeah. I mean, Kojima was on that Apple conference yesterday announcing like games being ported over to Apple. So that guy is everywhere. He's just everywhere.
So last thing, what do you think is going to be the biggest moment in the next? What are we going to come back and say is the biggest thing that we saw?
Honestly, I think it'll be at the Xbox conference, and I think it would be either like probably like Fable or Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
those
it's
would be
gonna,
the big things for me.
my thing is I think it's gonna be Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I kind of agree too. The only thing that could possibly trump that, but this is a personal bias thing, is that we get a trailer for Rebirth for Final Fantasy VII, and it shows new party members that include Zack.
Oh yeah, that would blow my mind. I feel like that would have been at the Sony conference, and it wasn't.
You'd
So I
think.
don't know where Square is. They don't have their own
Yeah,
conference.
it sounds like we're just gonna get that randomly on like some random like Saturday in mid-July where we don't expect it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I would
I think we're all on the right track that it's either going to be whatever Fable shows up with or the Indiana Jones gameplay. Because at least,
Yeah.
like, do we all agree that there's not really much Starfield can do at this point that's going to make us change our mind on what we think this game's going to be?
No.
No, Starfield is what it is. We all know what to
It is
expect.
what it is. Yeah.
Because, like, if they do a trailer, like, look at all these procedurally generated planets that you can go to, and I can be like, that's great, guys. Look at this all, like, 10-year-old Fallout gameplay that we showed off in the last trailer. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome, guys. I can't wait to play a game that looks like it's already outdated on the previous console.
The only thing I can see that they could do that would like blow my mind would be like doing like ship to ship combat, like do like space combat.
Well, I think they show that there was going to be that in the first trailer.
I know they mentioned.
Wasn't there
it, but I
some
don't
sort of
know if they
ship
showed it.
thing that they did show in that initial trailer? But I've repressed so much of that gameplay trailer out of my mind,
Yeah.
apart from like the clear No Man's Sky ripoff in the beginning.
Yeah, I don't think. Oh, they apparently do have space combat.
So
inspired
if they
by
show
Fast
more of
and Light.
that, maybe that gets at least some attention. But like, given how the shooting combat looks like, that would be really weird if they show the gameplay and the first-person shooter combat looks so boringly bland, and then the space combat is like Star Wars Squadrons level, like high octane space combat. I'd be like, did the same team work on this?
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I can't see. It's a Bethesda game. Like we know exactly how it plays. They're not making a new engine, so it's not going to be doing drastically new stuff. So it's like we kind of know what to expect. Is it bad? No, but it's not as
Yeah, it's
impressive as it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So
And then aside from that, how are we all feeling on what the most like hidden potential gem could be in this? Because my brain still thinks Contraband, but that's partially just because the idea of a game that has to do with like that smuggling run game that isn't, like, well, we're assuming it's not a live service game. I think that's probably like one of the most intriguing things to me right now.
I think the biggest surprise will be what Coalition's working on.
Yeah, if it's a new IP, yeah, that would be mine. Yeah, though I do hope they do that like Gears collection personally.
Yeah,
Just
it could
'cause
always
I've
be
played a
both.
lot-
Because I mean,
Yeah,
if you're more or less just remastering a bunch of it, you can have a small number of people working on that.
yeah, because that's a franchise that you can't really go back and play the old ones because it's not easy to even get them unless you have the Xbox and you're willing to play like the original versions of the games, and it's like, ooh.
That's also a game that like I can't imagine going back to and trying to play again because like I don't know, like it's one of those series very much like other games that I think you all probably can associate with, as you grow up and you go back and you play something else, you're like, this I don't feel the same way that I did when I first played this game. This doesn't fit with me anymore.
I've just never played the first 4. So I started at 5 and then I was like, all right, well, I want to play the rest of the story. And then I was like, and I can't and don't want to anymore because this is too old. But also with the online, it actually, because like that's the thing that Halo had. You have so many games. The online is just like, okay, well, which game do I log into so I can play online with people? And the thing that the Master Chief Collection did is it kind of just took the online from all the games and made it one online. And it's just way better that way because then you have just one community to deal with. So it would be good for Gears to kind of have that same thing because Gears 5 is obviously dying off online, I have to assume at this point. There's just like the people that play consistent. If you were to bring that online back, but all of the games, like the first 5, and bring them into one, it would be a good like multiplayer experience that's not like live service kind of thing for Xbox because we know that Infinite did not do what they wanted it to do for online, at least as far as I can tell.
Yeah. Well, I think what we're just going to have to do is play the waiting game and see what we'll come back. How about we come back next week, guys, and we'll compare our notes and see how everything.
Yeah, you're gonna know in the first 10 seconds when Kaylan introduces the show, like how we're feeling, because we're either gonna be super smiley or we're gonna be like, oh, we gotta talk about another waste of time.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see next week.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you like that, we're going to wrap up the show here. If you like that, if you want to hear more of it, you can find us wherever you get your podcast. Search for PixelPlay Podcast or on YouTube or Spotify. If you want to be part of the show, we have an awesome Discord. You could join us. We're on Instagram and Twitter. It could all be found on our linktr.ee/PixelPlay Podcast. You can find everything there if you want to interact with us, have questions for the show, things of that nature. And yeah, with that, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully smiling. Bye for now.